I got now. What about blogs then? I mean, in some sense, it's a little bit more easier. Well, not easier,
Yeah,
but I mean, it's like once a week. Put in time and effort. They could like share, like say, if a public relations major, they can share about what they learn in a classroom, or even share about what they learn in the public relations industry. If they like
yeah,
put like 4 years of that into a blog while they're in college, you think that will set them apart from, like, say, someone who didn't do that, who just went to
yeah,
school and just studied the class, and then of course graduate?
absolutely. And if you publish once a week or twice a month and you write thoughtful pieces about your field, the example you mentioned is public relations, but it could be any topic. When you are either looking for internships as an undergraduate or after graduation when you're looking for that first job, employers who are considering your application will Google you. And that means your social accounts will pop up. So we haven't talked about this, Cheval, but it should go without saying that everybody, but especially students who are preparing to look for that first job, everybody should pay attention to their online profile and make sure and recognize that employers do Google us. And so you should do it yourself and see what pops up. Because if there's anything embarrassing or unflattering or unprofessional, employers look for reasons to eliminate applicants from a resume pile because they get so many. So don't give them that opportunity. But to your point about blogs, yes, once you've paid attention to the basics and you have a professional online presence and you've filled out your LinkedIn profile and you've removed those wacky vacation pictures that we all have, no matter what our age, from your Facebook account. Um, if you can do something, if you can blog regularly or contribute other content on a regular basis that's going to pop up in a Google search that shows that you're thoughtful about your field, you're learning, and you've got opinions, that will make you stand out, and that really is an important element of a strong personal brand that's going to help you professionally.
All right. So now, what about like social media? How you know which one should they focus on using to build their, like, say, their portfolio? In, like, say, if should they use Twitter? Should they use Instagram? Should they use Facebook? To,
Mhm.
like, to, if they have a blog, in addition to their blog or their podcast.
Well, wherever you are in your career, professionally, you should if, pick just two or three social accounts or social channels that you're going to focus on for your professional brand. Um, Facebook is usually reserved for personal use, and you want to check your privacy settings so that if you are putting up pictures of your kids or of your classmates if you're on a spring break trip, that's not popping up in Google searches. You want to be thoughtful about how you use Facebook, and usually people don't mix the personal and professional there. Um, with if you probably should just pick fewer social accounts or social channels and do them well for your professional brand, uh, and that should be driven by your field. So if you are a designer or a photographer, you probably want to be on Instagram and maybe even Flickr because that's where the people in your industry hang out and that's what they pay attention to. If you want to work as a journalist or in public policy or even the nonprofit world, you want to be on Twitter because reporters and people who follow the news on a regular basis check Twitter regularly. And if you want to work as a journalist and you're not there, that's going to seem odd, uh, particularly compared to your other competitors. So think about where you want to go and where the people in the industry that you want to work in hang out online and build a presence in that channel. I think whatever your interest, Cheval, everybody needs to be on LinkedIn and everybody needs to have a complete profile. And you don't have to take advantage of every feature, uh, but at a minimum, you should have a profile picture You should list all of your employers, or if you're farther along in your career, like me, the last 10 or 15 or 20 years, you should list your education, including your high school, and you should. It takes time, but you should make a list of everyone you've worked with and your professors at college, former supervisors, even classmates and coworkers, and take the time over the course of a couple of days to connect with them all, because then you'll create a network. And LinkedIn, it always pops up in the top 2 or 3 hits in a Google organic search. And employers will always go to that when they're evaluating candidates for internships or jobs. And so you want to make sure that what they see reflects well on you and your professional brand.
Okay, you said Flickr? Really?
Yeah.
I thought.
I could see your expression. There are photographers who love Flickr, so it's definitely become a niche site. And if you're working in interior design, Pinterest is the place you got to be. Though it's not just limited to people interested in design. Pinterest, it's very popular in the publishing world and the like. But my point is, there may be niche platforms that aren't in the big 5: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. But that's okay if that's where your industry hangs out in a smaller niche platform. That's where you should be.
All right. So now I gotta ask about your podcast. Which you started. For your organization. How has that helped you? In growing your audience, and how can that help a small business owner if they're trying to, gain like an audience for their business per se?
Yeah. So Max Lista, the heart of it has been a job board, Cheval, and we've expanded our educational and training services in the last 2 years. But one of our challenges is that most of our audience has been in the Pacific Northwest. We're headquartered in Portland, Oregon. So most of our customers were in the state of Oregon or in Southwest Washington. The podcast has helped us build a national audience, and it's a weekly show. It's called Find Your Dream Job, and we interview people who are expert in job hunting and career management. And what has happened is, since we launched the show in October of 2015, 85% of the downloads are outside of Oregon. It's that we've created a national audience. And in fact, 15% of our downloads are overseas, largely in English-speaking countries. And so the podcast has let us connect with people across all 50 states in the United States, as well as people abroad. And we see that now, and when we've started to offer new products, we see our customers coming, many of them from out of state, and that's been a big boost to our business.
Okay. So what about, say, live streaming right now, especially, since live streaming has become dominant in the last 2 years?
Well, video is where we're all got to be sooner rather than later. And I'm sure you know the statistics because you're a communications professional. YouTube is the second largest or second most popular search engine after Google. Facebook is betting heavily on video. And in fact, Mark Zuckerberg has said in 5 years he thinks everybody's newsfeed will be filled with nothing but video on Facebook. So the reason it's popular is it's because images are emotionally engaging. People want visuals, and they are a way of making an emotional connection with your community. So it's something where it's something we all have to be doing quick soon. And people who are doing it now are enjoying early advantages, whether they're they're doing a job search, or they're building a small business, or they want to polish and promote their professional brand.
Okay. And what about networking? How important is that?
It's vital, Cheval. I think we may have talked about this on the previous show. I run a job board. I'm proud of it. We provide a valuable service to the employers who list with us. But there are estimates out there that as many as 60 to 80% of all jobs are never posted on any job board. And the reason for that is it's human nature. People hire people they know, or they hire people who are recommended to them by people they trust. It's a way of managing risk, because it is very expensive to hire people, and it's even more expensive to let them go. And so hiring managers try to minimize that risk by looking for people they already have had experience with, or come to them by people who recommend them. And so our challenge when we're looking for work is how do we get recommended or get in front of hiring managers? Networking is the way to do it. And there are 3 ways you can network. You can do informational interviews, these structured conversations. You reach out to leaders and peers in your field to talk about upcoming opportunities, uncover hidden jobs. The second way you can network is to go to industry events and connect with people there. And the third is to volunteer, get involved in groups in your profession, and that'll put you in front of leaders and movers and shakers in your world, and they will think of you when jobs that never get posted come up.